Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this One Mediterranean Conference, which is the final conference of the BlueMed Coordination and Support Action. I'm Fabio Trincardi, the coordinator of the action, and I'm speaking from Rome at the headquarters of the National Research Council of Italy. And we work as the digital hub for this conference and for these 3 days that we had unfortunately to organize in remote. So tomorrow we will have a more complete discussion on what we've done and what we have achieved. But we choose this afternoon as a start for the meeting to start with our energetic young ambassadors for several reasons. First of all, we have a key priority in our implementation plan that will be presented tomorrow, which is called Building Capacity, Blue Skills and Blue Professionals. And more in general, working on blue economy in the Mediterranean is meant, first of all, for the future generations and for the environment that they will have to grow with in the next decades. And considering the needs of knowledge about the status of this environment. So the young ambassador also represent and have represented an important component in the project, as I said, an energetic component. We had several occasions to work with them, and they did a great job in their own countries, spreading the word, let's say, of what BlueMed was doing. And we have particularly fond memories of some of the meetings, including the Venice meeting, that happened just a few weeks, unfortunately, before the lockdown. So it's probably the last meeting we had in person. And having said this, very quickly, I give the floor to Margherita Cappelletto, our project manager of BlueMed. For the rest.
Thank you very much, Fabio. Indeed, I agree with you that we learn a lot from the young ambassador. We learn how they are really they know what sharing the citizenship of seas and oceans means, and they also prove how far they can contribute to the governance of one oceans. So what we can hope here is that you all, the entire audience that unfortunately cannot be physically with us and with all the young ambassadors, can enjoy this first session of the conference. We took the idea from the launch event of the Young Ambassador Program in the Black Sea, and we build on this, opening up to not only other basins, but other ambassadors from the global initiative. I do not want to take any more your time, and I immediately give the floor to our colleagues, Rita Giuffredi, who among other things is the creator of Lori, and Alba Lastorina. They led the communication of the project, and together with our colleagues from HCMR in Greece, they implemented the BlueMed Young Ambassador Program. And of course, the floor to our young ambassador, their voices, I believe, will be heard a lot. We used to say that the sea has no border. So thank you, and Rita, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Margherita. Here I am. Can you hear me well? I'm here. So thank you very much, both to you and to Fabio. Welcome to everybody. We have 116 people connected right now. So me and Alba, who will be the moderator of this session, are really excited and glad to start with this session, the BlueMed One Mediterranean Conference, and that will present the outcomes and experiences of the BlueMed adventure. But we are particularly happy to start with, as you were saying, with the young ambassadors, who we think represent one of the most important launches for future generations of the project. And today we have also the ambition to enlarge their network, let's say, towards what we call a future One Ocean network, including and involving all the programs of young ambassadors of other basins. So before leaving the stage to Vassiliki Vassilopoulou, who will briefly present how we arrived here, so the BlueMed Ambassadors program, how the process and how it developed, I just want to remind you that, of course, as you were mentioning, if you haven't done already, please take 5 minutes to craft lorry, because it's our sustainable gadget. And share it on the social, the pictures and your thoughts with the hashtag #OneMediterranean. So the floor is yours, Celia, please. Vassiliki, which calls Celia usually, please.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. Yes. You can go ahead.
Okay, great. It's really a shame that we can't be physically together, but I hope we can manage. So let me say a few words about the BlueMed Ambassadors task. Our BlueMed Ambassadors are 5 highly motivated young people from the BlueMed non-EU countries, Algeria, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, and Turkey. And today we have the 4 of them with us. Their task has been to advocate about BlueMed actions, which are crucial for the realization of sustainable blue growth in the Mediterranean, and this way to truly support the development of a shared science diplomacy across the basin by addressing key socioeconomic challenges through high-quality research and innovation and transnational collaboration. The ambassadors have been selected following an open and transparent process, and right after their selection in July 2019, a training period has begun aiming to familiarize them with the strategic research and innovation agenda concepts of the BlueMed and other relevant BlueMed activities. And then in October 2019, we had a very productive 2-day training event in Barcelona, where the ambassadors had presented the draft communication plans on raising awareness in relation to marine litter issues. Well, you can see some nice pictures from this event in Barcelona in October 2019. I should mention here that actually the topic of marine litter was chosen on the basis of our interactions with them, because it was obvious that actually marine litter is actually a common and very important problem, imposing basin-wide socioeconomic challenges that definitely need high-quality research and innovation, and at the same time, transnational and interdisciplinary collaboration. Following this training period, the ambassadors have embarked on drafting their action plans that were discussed and finalized during the Venice BlueMed event in January 2020. Fabio Trincardi mentioned already about this event. The aim of the action plans was actually to present the ambassadors' proposed actions on raising public awareness on issues related to marine litter, adapted, of course, to contexts in their own countries. In fact, during the Venice event, the ambassadors had also the chance to provide some really inspiring presentations about their visions. You see Badr here, one of our ambassadors coming from Morocco. Actually, this dedicated session had a very appropriate title, Pollution Needs No Visa. So unfortunately, due to the pandemic, part of these plans had to be cancelled, and only those actions that could be adapted to the prevailing conditions were realized. In this vein, other important events where the ambassadors would have also participated, such as the Azov meeting, which was last September, had to be changed to virtual ones or even cancelled. Closing this brief intro, I'd like to say that the whole BlueMed team is really very proud of our very enthusiastic and inspiring ambassadors. And I personally cherish the experience of working together with these excellent young people. I'm sure that the audience today will really enjoy watching the following session. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Sila, for this introduction. I am now here with my lovely game and my cup of tea, because it all reminds me last meeting in Inès. It was a very informal place. So before giving the details of the program, just let me thank the support team of the Digital Hub, who made this conference possible despite the circumstances. I will mention there because they made great work. Valentina Volterra, Luigi Mazzari Villanova, Paolo Braico, Vittorio Turli. And let me also thank the French colleagues from the Eimear, who also will make it possible to have a live translation into Arabic and French through the Rafiki Connect app. So I think that after the presentation of Celia, and also after what Margherita, Fabio, and Rita have said, you are now excited to listen to the audience. I mean, is the expectation and curiosity towards our young ambassador has increased in the audience. From my side, I also can add that it was a very interesting experience. I was thinking of that. It was more than 1 year spent together, a part of them in person. So we were lucky to personally know Inès, Deniz, Badr, and Fella. And I've been impressed of the enthusiasm that their public talks have always been able to inspire in the audience. I think you will agree once you will listen to them. As you can see in the program, they will be protagonists of 2 parts. Rita already mentioned it. In the first part, they will bring their personal experience. Guys, remember that you just have 5 minutes. And in the second part, they will engage in a dialogue with other young ambassadors coming from different basins, because as also Margherita pointed it in the beginning, it's very important to have this confrontation. We think this will bring fantastic addition to the session. So we will have then a brief contribution by Laura Mcdonough, European Policy Officer, who will bring some institutional feedback reflections to the ambassador items concerning the value of involving networks of young people. I think it's clear from what we have said that for us the contribution of young ambassador can be crucial for the shared sustainable and responsible management of the oceans, of the one ocean, but we want also to know your idea about that. That's why we prepared, and I asked George Bouyeya, I hope I pronounced well his name, to support me now, because we would like to launch a poll that is just a question. You should see now a link where you can connect and find, yes, okay. And you will find just a question, that exactly a question that concern the value, the added value of involving young people in the role of ambassadors. You can follow this. You just have to follow this link and just answer. You can answer all the session long. I mean, you are not expected to answer now. It's just maybe it's better that you listen to the ambassadors to next talks, and then you can answer. At the end of the session, we will give you the results of this poll. I think it's important for us to have the opinion of all of you. So I think that I can give the floor now to Inès, the first ambassador. You should be the first, isn't it?
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Do you hear me well? Well, I bring with me my craft origami. I hope it's inversed. I hope it's good. Can you see it? So I want to welcome you all and thank you for this great opportunity to be present with you. Actually, it was a pity because we weren't present in person, and I really missed our meetings. So I am here to introduce myself. I am Inès Boujmil, the BlueMed ambassador in Tunisia, and I am a fisheries and environmental engineer, and I hold a master's in geomatics applied to physical and operational oceanography. So I work at ENSTM, and the growing awareness of the intense pressures causing environmental degradation pushed me to join the BlueMed wave, especially which was a great opportunity communicated by the BlueMed GSO Professor Sharif Samari, and I thank him for that. So from my personal experience in BlueMed, I learned about citizen science and the importance of exchanging knowledge and information from all parts of the society. So starting from public citizens to fishers, going to stakeholders and policymakers. So this was a unique experience, and especially during the pandemic. So we were so motivated and engaged that even these particular circumstances did not stop us to continue our activities, especially outreach ones. So I did plugin with my colleague Hela Jasiri, who joined me for that. She also works at ENSTM, and we collected plastic litter after the lockdown and put it in the plugin BlueMed bag. So which was really wonderful that in these activities evolved into a great sorting and cleaning campaign, bringing together all national and international projects at ENSTM. So under the patronage of BlueMed initiative as well, and in collaboration with the mayor of La Goulette, which is an important step towards building a national cluster. So finally, within the framework of our mandate as BlueMed ambassadors, I was inspired through these outcomes in collaboration with the ENSTM team to produce an outreach video in Qarqna Island in Tunisia. So this is a small-scale fishing area impacted by plastic pollution, in particular plastic traps called Rita. So during this wonderful experience, we had the chance to interact with fishers, especially fisherwomen, and these fisherwomen were also handcraft workers, and they create traditional fishing materials from palm leaves. So along with associations, scientists, promoters of metal traps to substitute plastic ones, we had the chance to communicate all the voices, and I was interacting with them, so this was pretty enriching. And I would qualify this experience as unique because we gained several information from all parts of the society, and we discovered social, political, and economical challenges interacting with environmental ones. So I was also delighted that even old fisherwomen were aware of the disasters caused by plastic pollution and plastic fishing techniques. So it was quite touching that everyone in the society were calling us to communicate their voices in order to ban plastic use in fishing materials. So which really touched me is that everyone was concerned about the plastic pollution, and they wanted to protect our marine resources for the future generations. So I might also conclude that citizens are active players in science and blue growth, and the public engagement is important to draw together a shared sustainable path, which has a great potential in order to boost our initiatives' outcomes. So this is it, and I hope that we will collaborate together, and maybe we could continue these initiatives and to have synergies between all the ambassadors so that we could continue our fight to protect our environment for the future generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Inès. Thank you very much. So I pass immediately the floor to Deniz, our Turkish ambassador.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you all. I'm Deniz Yapılcan, the BlueMed Young Ambassador from Turkey. I would like to tell a bit more about me at the beginning. Unlike most of the people here in this conference, I came from a different background. I'm a fine arts graduated communication designer and a filmmaker, but also as very passionate scuba diver, and my goal is to create underwater documentaries in the future. So the experience of being a young communication ambassador made me more active thinking about science communication and what we can do as young people from different countries to have healthier blue ocean. It was great experience to meet with all the people of Mediterranean and also other basins and discuss our mutual problems. This year, our selected subject was plastic pollution. So my action plan as young ambassador of BlueMed has evolved since the beginning of our work due to mostly pandemic. Regarding my profession as a filmmaker, I wrote a script for a short movie targeting general public to be screened in public transportation. The plastic issue is very recently realized in Turkey, so I observed that people doesn't really understand what it causes, and people don't see what happens underwater. So I know that powerful imagery is really affecting people. So I decided to make a movie, but later on, due to lockdowns and health restrictions, I couldn't be able to shoot it. So I started focusing on more about my online activities, as everyone else did in this period. So I did lots of beach walks, and of course, with my BlueMed vlogging bag, I collected plastic pollutants. So as a scuba diver, I also do underwater cleanups. And you can also see it in my hands and also in the picture. This is a paper cup. Most of people think that it doesn't contain any plastic. They think that it's just paper, but it has a plastic layer inside, and this is what is left behind when it spends some time in the water. So plastic problem starts with the choice of the consumer, I believe. Then they become pollutants. Ocean is neither our supermarket nor a junkyard. So we should think every time we purchase something, because most of the plastic that we throw away ends up as marine litter. So we have one ocean and one planet and one Mediterranean. And I think that.
Thank you very much, Deniz. Yes, sorry, I was searching for the button to open my microphone. So now, immediately, Badr can speak, our ambassador from Morocco. Badr, I think you should turn on your microphone.
Okay, here I am. Good afternoon, everyone. Do you hear me very well?
Perfectly.
Okay, so So first of all, I would like to apologize. I can't show my face. I'm using the mask because I'm in the office with other people. My name is Badr, and I'm from Morocco, and I'm supposed to be the BlueMed ambassador from Morocco for this conference. So my journey started with the BlueMed, I think more than a year now, when I came to meet these beautiful people, Deniz from Turkey and Inès from Tunisia, Mustafa from Egypt, and also Fella from Algeria, and all the other people from the BlueMed. So the journey started with these people with the same vision and sharing the same vision, which is defending or raising awareness about what is happening to the ocean, from the pollution, the plastic pollution, and everything which is really impacting our ocean. So as an ambassador, my mission on the beginning started with the peer education, so which is an approach to raise the voice of the young people, and also to teach people how to deal with the ocean, how to avoid the pollution and such things. So that was the first action that have been taken by me and my team from all over Morocco. And also one of the biggest things that we have done this year, I don't know if I can see the presentation or the pictures, Rita. I cannot see it. Okay, so we have been going to this really beautiful environment, which is supposed to be a natural park in Morocco, and which is also listed as a Ramsar, which is a beautiful lagoon in the central of Morocco. So you can see the first thing that we have been shocked with is this image. So you can see here the anthropogenic pressures that are coming from the human. So can you show also the second slide? So you can see that the government, because this pandemic, they were spending money to do a panel to show the dangers of the COVID-19, but then they couldn't buy the trash bin to collect, or where we can put our trash when we are on the summer. So our action was to take all the trash and then put it in front of the panel to raise the awareness. If the COVID is dangerous, that is considered as a pandemic, also the plastic pollution is also considered as a pandemic. And this is like went viral to that region to take a decision. If the COVID is dangerous, also the plastic pollution is also really dangerous. It can be harmful to the environment. So that was all from my side. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, it was really hard to develop more in situ actions. And that's all from my side. And I would like to show also the origami. So I couldn't also print it, and to give the floor to Rita for the next person. And thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. I can show it again as well for you. So now the last of our first part of interventions is Moualek from Algeria.
Hello everyone, here I am with my origami. My name is Moualek, and I'm a BlueMed Young Ambassador present in Algeria. And I have been working and involved in ocean sciences at the Research Center of Aquaculture and Fisheries in Algeria, CNRDPA, for 3 years. And I have always been driven with the passion to the sea and its protection. But I felt that my application as scientist was not sufficient. This is what brought me to get involved with this cause and share my knowledge in marine sciences with the general public. So while there is a lot to be done, my aim as ambassador was to work on raising awareness about ocean plastic ocean pollution and plastic contamination, and to tell people about the ocean and its wonders by implementing educational programs. Of course, during my application, not all my proposal action plans was possible. We had to adapt to this new reality. In response, I prepared the digital communication tools to raise awareness about the plastic issues, including a motion graphic animation and a booklet addressed to the general public. So I worked on it because first of all, it's among the BlueMed pilot action on healthy plastic-free Mediterranean Sea, but I was also inspired by the lack of Arabic communication tools related to this subject in Algeria. So the main objectives of these activities were to inform, educate, engage, mobilize citizens to reduce the single-use plastic. And even with the pandemic situation, some educational sessions, talks, and workshops for schools were organized on a small scale, for example, on World Migratory Fish Day. And in addition to this communication tools on plastic issues, I prepared a documentary, like an overview about marine protected area, to share the Algerian experiences on this thematic. We will share it as soon as possible. I used as well to promote BlueMed priorities by sharing social media posts to help educate and connect my friends and followers to the sea. This encouraged me as well to set personal sustainability goals and encourage others to do the same. I was like my colleague nominated as BlueMed Ambassador 1 year ago, and I feel so fortunate to be part of this program because I consider it's very important to aware people about the ocean challenges and increase our understanding of sustainable living. And one of the main things I've learned, and I'm going to focus on in the future, is to be like an agent of change in my community, implicating and making an impact on the people around me. And also between the observation that I made, one that stood out of me is to never underestimate a small action, even if an action seems insignificant, but it can lead to a positive impact. My experience with BlueMed has been a brilliant one. Every skill I learned has played a big part in the rest of my life. It's opened me several opportunities. As scientist, it helped me gain knowledge and expertise by being involved with different experts from around the Mediterranean. But it also allowed me to improve my communication, organization skills, and so on. I really recommend this kind of experience, and I would like to use this opportunity to thank BlueMed for this wonderful opportunity they gave us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I wanted just to remind you that you will be able to see, if we will broadcast the two videos from Fila and from Inès in the virtual tea room that will be opened at 6. So also, if you have questions, we have 5 minutes at the end of this session, but keep all the questions also for the second part, will be half an hour with where you will interact directly with the ambassadors, and we will show also the videos. So thank you very much for having shared experiences and reflections, and I really think they can provide food for thoughts, let's say, for our audience. So let's now part to this second part of the session, where I have to say for the first time we try really to make this match among young ambassadors from diverse basins and programs. So they will have the chance to exchange experiences and possibly to identify common paths for future collaborations. So speaking about youth empowerment, we decided really to let the young ambassadors be the hosts, so really the conveners of the second part. So I leave them directly the stage, and me and Alba as moderators will just keep timing. So sometimes you will see us raising glory, and this will mean that you're running out of time. So I just pass the floor. I think the first to speak should be Inès, and she will introduce the ambassador, her colleague ambassador.
Thank you, Rita. So today for this special event, I choose Vera, the IOC, UNESCO IOC MSPglobal ambassador. So she will be joining me, and I would like to ask her a few questions. Vera, are you here? Can you turn on?
Yes, I am.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm really pleased and honored to have you as my guest and my colleague ambassador as well. So I would like to ask you a few questions. Let's start by introducing UNESCO IOC MSPglobal initiative and tell us more how it plans to scale up the outcomes, please.
First of all, thank you all for having me here. I'm very happy, although this is virtual, but it's a very important initiative that you're including the youth in such meetings. So as you mentioned earlier, as you all know, the IOC UNESCO is the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. It is the UN body responsible for supporting global ocean sciences and services. Particularly, the MSPglobal was born in 2018, and it was an initiative that came after the joint roadmap for accelerating MSP worldwide in 2017, which is a collaboration between IOC, UNESCO, and DG Mare. So the MSPglobal initiative actually has 5 different priority areas. First of all is transboundary maritime spatial planning. Second of all, sustainable blue growth. Ecosystem-based management, capacity building, and mutual understanding. And within each of these priority areas, there are a lot of different activities taking place, a lot of different projects. And what I would like to focus on is as it's aiming to have MSPglobal spread worldwide, what they're doing is there are a lot of national consultants that are working in their respective countries to initiate discussions on maritime spatial planning. And I'm talking here particularly for developing countries. So, for example, this was done in the Red Sea area, it was done in Lebanon and South America, and various countries across the world. And the idea is to join experts, decision makers, policy makers, people from research institutions, into one single table to discuss the future of the ocean. So this is mainly what MSPglobal is about. And of course, the COVID situation has hampered a lot of activities, but we're still working on publications, on research, on conferences, etc.
Great initiative. I wish you all the luck. And while referring here to your experience with the HCMR, did I pronounce it well?
HCMR.
Actio, particularly on ocean literacy, how can you describe the importance of the Blue Schools network that we previously spoke about in a shared Mediterranean Sea, please?
Yes, so Actio is a French environmental consultancy group. I recently joined them not so long ago. Actio is actually part of the EU for Ocean Coalition. So as you know, it's about promoting ocean literacy. One of the components of the EU for Ocean Coalition is the EU Blue Schools Network. Now, in parallel, we are also leading a project called the Mediterranean Blue Schools, which is very similar to the Blue Schools Network. However, it's targeted for the Mediterranean area. So we started with 4 countries, France, Greece, Malta, and Italy. And the aim of this activity is to, as opposed to MSPglobal, is to start on the root of the society. So with the little children, with school teachers. As you know, in Arabic, there's a saying that says, "Al-ilmu fi as-sighar kal-naqshi fi al-hajar," which means that learning as a young child is like sculpting in stone. it's long lasting, it has very durable results. So although education and primary school education is a long-term investment, however, the results will be solid. So the idea is that the children will learn from such a young age the importance of their actions on the sea, how they can design these marine initiatives, because in the end, they will be creating these activities in collaboration with their teachers. And so from such a young age, they will be able to understand the importance of the sea, even if they do not live on a coastal area. So this is a very interesting project. We are currently working on communication material, so stay posted. And if you would like to join the EU Blue Schools Network, you can check the EU for Ocean Coalition website. So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. It's always great to act for the future generation in order to continue our fight, let's say. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you another question regarding your masters. So you recently presented your final work presentation of the Advanced Master on Sustainable Blue Growth. Congratulations for that. And can you please tell us from your experience, how can we protect our marine cultural heritage and contribute to a sustainable blue growth in the Mediterranean countries?
Yeah, so first of all, I'd like to thank OGS and University of Trieste, because it was actually a scholarship that I received to do this master. The topic of marine cultural heritage has been with me for almost a decade. I was always interested in this world, and you can adjust it in very different ways. And what I aim to do through this master, which is a reflection on a future PhD proposal, is basically marine cultural heritage is a finite resource. It's not renewable. It's something that is there, and if we lose it, it's gone. So the aim is to see how maritime cultural heritage can be used as a resource. And because usually it's considered as an obstacle, like whenever there's a development, oh no, we found archaeological heritage. The idea is to understand that this heritage can be an asset, can be an added value for the blue economies. And so on the one hand, marine cultural heritage can help develop new economic opportunities, particularly tourism, education, research, etc. But also planning the sea and planning blue economies can help create an umbrella for the protection of this heritage. And in the Mediterranean Sea, this is particularly important because we are known to be a platform for exchange, for trade, for culture, the alphabet, the Phoenicians, etc. So it's important for the Mediterranean particularly to preserve this valuable heritage, in my opinion.
I also share your point, and I hope that we could protect it in a sustainable way. And talking about sustainable way, do you think that creating a network, bringing together all young ambassadors from different countries, especially Mediterranean one, is a relevant next step to move forward?
I think, okay, the Mediterranean has already a lot of initiatives, a lot of networks, a lot of topics, a lot of projects, a lot of programs. A lot of things are happening. On the one hand, there's a problem with sharing information because many people or countries tend to work independently. They don't want to share information. And on the other hand, with this multitude of activities, sometimes one gets lost. Like, what do we need now? Or what is the action that's really taking place? What I think this network of ambassadors can help do is first have like a one-stop shop to understand really what's going on, what are the activities taking place. I actually have a turtle. I will show it to you. Yeah, here it is. So the idea is to understand what is needed at this stage and how can we participate. So when you create, for example, thematic groups, instead of having all the action or all the energy focusing on just plastic pollution, we need to also address other issues, invasive species, education, ocean literacy. So this one-stop shop can help with really targeting specific actions, because I'm seeing a lot of talking, a lot of conferences, a lot of webinars, and action needs to be done, like concrete action. So I think it's important to do this network, but having specific targets in mind. And yeah.
Thank you, Vera, for this enriching conversation. I was really honored to have you as guest.
Thank you for the opportunity, and good luck with the upcoming days event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Rita, we're good.
Yeah. Now I would ask Badr and Eimear to show themselves.
I'm in here. Hi, Eimear.
Hi, Badr. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great.
I'm really happy to see you again. I still remember the presentation last year on the All Atlantic Ocean Forum, which was in Brussels. A beautiful network and a beautiful spirit of young people. I mean, if you can also present yourself and then present the All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassadors program to the audience.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Eimear Manning. I am the All Atlantic Ocean Youth Mentor now from Ireland. So I was a youth ambassador last year for the last 18 months, but the torch has very recently been passed to a new group of young people, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But my group of ambassadors was the first ever All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassadors, and we met in August of 2019. So unfortunately, a few months into our work as youth ambassadors, COVID-19 hit, and a lot of our projects had to move online. But we were 23 youth ambassadors from 14 countries that lined all sides of the Atlantic Ocean. And we decided to work together under three main headings with our groups. We worked under ocean literacy, culture and celebration for the Atlantic Ocean, and the negative effects of ecotourism. And that was the three major topics that we decided to focus on in our 18 months as All Atlantic Ambassadors.
That's great. I still remember the presentation of the last year. And if you can also talk to us about what you did exactly since you existed, and what impacts you have made and what have been achieved since that.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we split into three main groups based on our own personal interests for the Atlantic Ocean. So of course, we all have an interest in all of the topics, but for example, I was in the ocean literacy group, where our aim was to try and make people feel as connected as possible to the Atlantic Ocean, and also to appeal to scientists to produce information in a more local friendly way, so that it wasn't 100% a scientific rigid document that they were putting out, that if they did publish anything, that we would work with those scientists to then make that information more accessible to the people in that locality or globally. We also wanted to do the same thing with multinational corporations when they were bringing out documents. So we tried to bring some creativity into it and encourage them to make documentation with us that was more accessible for people. Then we had our culture and celebration group. They had a really big plan which was really lovely, of creating a book full of legends and myths and tales from their native countries. And they wanted to get as many countries that lined the Atlantic involved as possible. As far as I know, they are still working on that. So if anybody here is joining us from the Atlantic and would like to reach out to us with their Atlantic myth or ocean legend, you can do that on social media. We're at All Atlantic Youth or at Atlantic Youth on Twitter. And then the final group was the ecotourism group, and what they wanted to do was work mainly in the island of Cape Verde. And what they wanted to do was create the first ever Atlantic friendly tourist destination, and create like a seal or a stamp for that area to say that the entire locality, the hotels, all of the tourist destinations there are Atlantic friendly, and they actively work within their locality to care for the Atlantic. So that was those three individual groups. And then finally, we had one bigger group, which was the #MyAtlanticStory. That was a social media campaign that we kept going throughout COVID, and we would approach people throughout our work as All Atlantic Ambassadors, and we would bring face paint with us, and we would ask them to do blue war stripes on their face or a wave, and we'd ask them to take a selfie, and to tell us their Atlantic story. What is something that connects you to the ocean? And we compiled them, all of those selfies, all of those quotes, into a really beautiful video, which we had out playing in that event that I met you at, Badr. But our overall impacts, what did we do? So in our 18 months as ambassadors, we attended 130 events globally, and we reached over 20,000 people from all of the events that we attended, and that included the Paris Peace Forum, the European Union Research and Innovation Days, the United Nations Youth Engagement events. So there was a lot that we were involved in, particularly through COVID. We tried to keep everything as involved as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this can be seen. I mean, even in difficult moments, many action have been taken, and I have going through sometimes on the internet, I can see a lot of activities that are going on. I mean, now also to join all the forces from all the young people, all the networks that are around the world, what do you think that there are going to be the perspective on the future for the all Atlantic Ocean in regard to all the other networks that exist around the world?
Absolutely. So one thing that I mentioned before was that I'm no longer an All Atlantic Youth Ambassador. I'm now an All Atlantic Youth Mentor. So I've moved to the next stage, and an entire new cohort of young people have now entered as All Atlantic Youth Ambassadors. And one thing that they are very strongly going forward with is this idea of multilateralism. So if you don't know what multilateralism is, it's when a group of multiple countries work together towards one goal. And that's what we are doing with One Ocean and One Mediterranean. We're trying to work together across country boundaries for the protection of the One Ocean, and they are very, very much aligning their work with that. So I know for a fact that you have a friend in all of the All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassadors, and we would love to work together with you in the future. But do stay tuned, because brand new projects will be coming out from the new cohort of the All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassadors, and I will be involved as much as I can be in that to help support you and everybody else.
Okay.
So thank you for the opportunity as well to speak today. That was great.
It's my pleasure as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you to both of you. It's a pity, sorry for interrupting you each time with the fishes, but it's a really interesting.
And it's also give the message that we are keeping the message all the time.
Perfect. Now you can Deniz can interview Sofia Sadogurska. I hope I pronounced it well. And that I would say, without interrupting you, Deniz, if you please stay in the 5 minutes, I empower you. And then you present the last one will be perfect. Vera and Natalija Dunic. Okay, so I come again in next. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. I would like to invite Sofia Sadogurska from Ukraine joining us as Connect Black Sea Young Ambassador. I would like to start with a short story before asking questions to Sofia. 2 years ago in Sinop, a northern city of Turkey, which is a coastal city of Black Sea, researchers found that a corked plastic bottle, which, if we can show the picture, which has a treasure map inside, drawn by a child, which has instructions in Ukrainian. Later, they found that it came from a summer camp from Crimea and traveled through the Black Sea and it reached the Turkey coasts. As we see in this example, ocean currents, winds, and waves carry the things all over the world, including the pollutants and things like this. So Black Sea and the Mediterranean is connecting in my city, Istanbul, with the Bosphorus, and I can see clearly how they mix together and understand the concept of ocean have no borders. So human activities in different places actually affecting all over the ocean. So Sofia, Black Sea Young Ambassador program is one of the latest sea basin programs. Firstly, can you tell a bit about on the program and the ambassadors, and how do you got together and developed your vision?
Thank you very much, Deniz. I hope you can hear me well. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. I'm very honored to represent the Black Sea Ambassadors. I want to say not only marine litter can travel, but also ideas, and your lorry fish already reached the Black Sea. So, as you mentioned, the Black Sea Young Ambassador program is the youngest among ambassadors program, and we started our road just a few months ago when the program was launched during the event in the occasion of the Black Sea Day in October. And we are 17 young ambassadors from 7 different Black Sea riparian countries. And during our work, we detected and tried to find the most crucial missing points to achieve our goals for the Black Sea. And in our, we found that the lacking foundation stone is the links between scientists, stakeholders, the public, and the Black Sea, and of course with the other sea and ocean basins. Therefore, we decided that our vision is to create tools to build new bridges, not only between us, but also to other sea basins. And I'm very happy that today we have opportunity to discuss these the ideas and the future collaboration. And in our meetings, we talked a lot about the empowering ocean-engaged citizens contributing to the preserved, productive, and plastic-free Black Sea. The first theme is ocean-engaged citizens and Black Sea identity. Because we believe that there are a lack of knowledge on the uniqueness of the Black Sea, its environment and biodiversity. So as a young ambassadors, we planned to do photo competitions, to communicate through social media to show how unique is the Black Sea. And also, as we talked often, the Black Sea is under natural and human-induced stressors. There are so many problems, and I think they are very similar to the problems in the Mediterranean Sea. So with establishing right synergy, the impact of these stressors can be reduced. That's why the second main topic is multiple stressors and Black Sea and blue synergy. And young ambassadors from all riparian countries also noted that there is need for productive communication between scientists, policymakers, and also industry, because these links are crucial for blue growth.
Also, as far as I know, the Black Sea Young Ambassador program kicked off during the Corona pandemic. So how was it to start with and continue with as an ambassador and work online?
Yeah, it's a very nice question, because we're kind of a generation of the ambassadors who met after everything started with the pandemic and everything. And I need to say that it's very challenging, and it was tough to manage the online meetings with lots of uncertainties and the hardness of sharing our synergy in the front of the screens. But even so, we are 17 young ambassadors with different backgrounds, like science and policy-oriented people from maritime and marine sectors, achieved almost impossible and tried to came together with our mission and goals. And I believe these challenges can also bring new opportunities. Our different background and experience in so many fields can make us stronger and empowered to work together in our common vision and mission for the Black Sea. And there are so many things which unite us and motivate to work together for the Black Sea. And we regularly met online and discuss our national and regional needs. And we try to kind of work on the common goal. And I think all these ideas and love for the Black Sea helped us to work together, despite the fact that we actually have never met offline yet, but I hope it can change in the nearest future.
So back in October, I remember Maria Gabriel has asked to the Black Sea Young Ambassadors a very good question, and I would like to ask the same question here again. What is the one thing that you would change or do for Black Sea?
Well, I think that the future of the Black Sea lies in our capability to forge a blue identity for all. The one thing I can do as a young ambassador is to contribute to the development of this blue identity through the development of literacy about the Black Sea, because as I mentioned, there is a big gap between people and their connection to the Black Sea, and many people just do not feel connection with the sea because they just don't know how unique is the Black Sea. And in order to fulfill these objectives, we plan to integrate some new social media tools for action to be able to involve local communities and minorities, because actually as a young ambassadors, we believe that ocean literacy is a key point in the future relationships between people and the Black Sea. And I'm very happy that there were so many examples from ambassadors of other basins of some actions, how they involved people and raised awareness about sea.
So what do you think what we can do as young ambassadors from different basins for the better ocean together?
Well, I would think about maybe one thing, because we were talking a lot about the possibilities for common project or something. But there is interesting thing that when we came together, the young ambassadors of the Black Sea, we realized that there is one major problem in the disconnection of the citizens from science. And I think the last year we felt a lot of this also because of the pandemic and things like this. Some things people do not understand and do not want to understand. And there is many thinking news. So I think the best way to solve this and make science personal and inclusive is by involving the citizens in the scientific process to make the science more understandable and more close to people. And it happened, for example, that among Black Sea ambassadors, there are many young scientists and also people who work in policy. And I think it's a very nice example that we can make science more understandable for people, to involve them to develop citizen science projects in the Black Sea. And I think that there is a thing which we can work together as a young ambassadors from different basins. And we talked a lot today about the social media campaigns. And of course, it's the reality of our days that almost everything went online, but we hope that maybe soon we will be able to interact with people in the field. So with young ambassadors from our countries, we planned to organize also sampling days and some cleanups, and also ask our mayors what they're actually doing to fight against Black Sea ecosystem stressors and how they are restoring degraded coasts. And I think all of this can be done with the synergy with use from other basins, because as you said at the beginning, ocean has no borders. So yeah, we should act together. And thank you. Here. Thank you very much for your questions.
Thank you for your answers. And I think we can use the advantage of online meeting to connect with other basins.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
The floor is yours, Rita.
Okay, we asked you to present the following one, but no problem. Fella, please, should interview Natalija Dunic. So I would not like to interrupt you anymore, please.
Okay. Hi, Natalija. So,
hello.
So we have Natalija from Split in Croatia. Last year, Natalija started her postdoc in the field of physical oceanography, where she is conducting researches of Adriatic Sea present and future state. She is also one of the EMB Young Ambassador, and today we will use this opportunity to ask her a few questions. So Natalija, what does the EMB mean and why it's important?
Well, thank you, Fela, for having me here. I'm really happy that the era of joint communication is already here. European Marine Board is a body that recognizes the importance of ocean research and technology on a European level. And it is also a body with the main role to transfer the knowledge between scientific community and the decision makers, and that is actually important. So basically, the European Marine Board is a science policy advisor. It actually has a wide platform of activities, concluded ones and the ongoing ones, dealing with the recent issues in marine sciences with the same goal, and that is to decide the priority of each research topics. For instance, the ongoing projects today of the working groups are the marine geohazards and blue economy, marine science communications, underwater noise, and coastal resilience.
Okay, and why did you become an European Marine Board Young Ambassador? What got your attention in this program?
Yeah, so one of my goals as a scientist is actually to promote marine science. And now with the European Marine Board, I got the chance to do that on an even higher level. And the bottom line is that I also share a same goal as most of the marine scientists, and that is to recognize the reality of our environment in a best possible way and to give my own best in creating a better future world for all life. And in our case, Fila, we share actually a common goal, and that is to create our sustainable blue world that we all need for the future that we want. No, for instance, let's say let's talk about the climate change impact. So climate change impact is not only on a global scale; it actually is happening on a smaller scale, such as our regional seas that are a part of the Mediterranean and are also connected to the whole world. And this impact is already evident. And who knows what the future is also going to be for all of us. So our job today is to make sure that we continue our research, but we need to prioritize it. The more we know, the easier it will be for all of us to mitigate and adapt to climate changes. And for that, we need to plan our job more thoroughly. And that is why all these initiatives and bodies such as BlueMed and European Marine Board are actually quite helpful.
Yeah, I agree with you. Climate change is one of the most problematic issues in the world right now. But to deal with it, we need to have like a starting point to reach our goal. In light of this, how do you vision your duty as ambassador of EMB?
Well, my priority is the promotion. General public usually don't know the current activities that are happening in marine science. And moreover, a lot of people today don't believe in anthropogenic climate change. So our job as a scientist is also to promote all the ongoing activities. And second, actually now I'm able to speak and work with relevant people in scientific community that actually you and me are a part of. I can contribute to this community while at the same time, I'm broadening my own knowledge. So that's the why I applied.
Yeah, this sounds very interesting, and your work is quite similar to the thing we are doing with the BlueMed. And there is any way to connect, to share our knowledge, or to work together with the EMB, BlueMed with the EMB and other. What do you think?
Ambassadors, yes, I believe so, yes. So, well, you know that anything is possible if people just set their mind off to it. And this conference is actually a great starting point because here we are actually able to meet. And furthermore, for example, all the young ambassadors could create, I don't know, maybe a forum that will share a single goal. We can even use a phrase on it like, maybe it's tacky, maybe it's not, but let's say, for instance, ambassadors of the sea, let's unite. and we can talk about all the things that we are doing and will be doing in the future, trying to collaborate between. I believe that in the future it will be important to combine our knowledge and ideas. For example, as I'm aware of, BlueMed focuses mainly on the Mediterranean, while the European Marine Board is spanning further, covering the Northern European seas. It will be really helpful to unite the common goals and agendas and to work together, especially since we all share the same goal, and that is the sustainable blue world. A place where we could share our ideas and more like a forum, or perhaps even an organized Young Ambassador conference would be really helpful for the existing initiatives to connect.
Yes, yes, I agree, and I think that these are actually good ideas. But now I'm even more curious how you envision the solution on some matters. For instance, I believe that the ocean and the climate system have been facing challenges during the last few decades, and we need to stay together and be creative in finding new solutions for this problem. You say that your area of research is climate change impact, and that the proper way to investigate is to work with the general public and policymaker. I would like to know, what do you think about the most suitable and appropriate vulgarization tools or method for the general public concerning this thematic? I mean, your communication strategies.
Well, we have to start from the start, let's say it like that. I believe actually that in order to ensure the safety of our ocean, we should actually start talking about it to our youngest, to our children, since they are actually the ones that tomorrow will be in those places. They will be making decisions, and we need to tell them now all about the risks that they will face in the forthcoming future, and also about the risk management. But we have to do it in their own language. This is actually where a forum could be really useful, because we can combine our own knowledge that we already gathered today, and we can go in this direction. Because we should tell them, for instance, what tons of plastic does to our ocean. No?
Yeah, I agree as well. And personally, I've been working on the environmental awareness about the plastic pollution with the general public as target group. I was confronted with the situation where it was difficult to attract and catch people's attention regarding the issue, because they believe that it's not on their responsibility, or that they don't have the power to change a lot. So it was a bit challenging to convince them to act for our environment. So what do you think is the best way to tackle this type of issues?
Well, Fila, unfortunately, that is true. For most cases, we could talk to them as much as we want, and one person will still not believe that he or she can make any change, especially if on a governmental level, not a lot of people care. My personal belief is that we should try to make these types of changes in a collaboration with the policymakers. For instance, to try to tackle the regulative on a European level, as it was already done with the plastic cutlery ban.
So, okay, thank you very much, Natalija. I really would like to see where our connection could get us.
And thank you, Fela. I'm hoping that in the future, we as the Young Ambassadors will connect and spread our knowledge, not only among us, but to all other young scientists. And if you think about it, our joint work could be similar to the Lori logo, you know, because at the beginning, you just have, sorry, I'm reversed. You just have a piece of paper containing just some basic information here. But after, Fila, you gave me this scheme to build upon this piece of paper, it actually simply started to reveal itself. So let's do that, all young ambassadors, the same, to create our sustainable blue world, like the origami.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic words, you ending fantastic ending words. So now I will give the floor to Rita, because Rita is also engaged in a conversation with Katerina Kikaki. And just a few seconds to remind all the audience that to vote in the Slido platform, to use the BlueMed hashtag to tweet, and you can find all this kind of information on the web page of the conference. Please, Rita.
So I would like to ask Katerina Kikaki to show her face, because we both are in a slightly different position with respect to the official ambassadors what we heard speaking up to now, because we're not formally officially ambassador, we're not selected as ambassadors, but we would like to bring like a perspective from as young researchers from inside the BlueMed network, let's say. In particular, Katerina is a PhD researcher at the Hellenic Center for Marine Research in Greece, and she studies the impacts of plastics, and she realized the mapping of the initiatives ongoing in her country regarding the issue of marine litter and how to tackle it, to contribute to the pilot initiative for a healthy plastic-free Mediterranean Sea, the BlueMed pilot initiative. And you will hear about the pilot briefly in a while and extensively tomorrow. So we are a little late with the schedule, so I will go directly to the question. Katerina, I would like you, yes, to introduce yourself and to briefly describe this experience that you had within and or for BlueMed, let's say.
Okay. Hello, Rita. Hello, everyone. I am Katerina Kikaki. I am a PhD student at the National Technical University of Athens, and I work at HCMR. I'm really happy to participate in this conference because due to BlueMed Pilot Hub, I had the chance to record a lot of interesting actions regarding regarding marine plastic pollution in Greece, including actually beach and other water cleanups, circular economy initiatives, educational activities, and plastic-free island initiatives. I have to say that a large number of successful actions with different features and people take place every year in Greece. More specifically, for the last 2 years, we recorded more than 450 actions in 130 municipalities in Greece. Additionally, we recorded that more than 500 tons of plastic waste have been removed from seafloor and Greek coasts as well, revealing that the top beach marine litter items are microplastics and cigarettes, followed by bottle caps and plastic straws. I have to highlight that non-governmental organizations like Helmepa and All4Blue, as well as Interreg projects like Meltemi and Plastic Busters, and European directives like MSFD have significantly contributed to marine litter collection and educational and public awareness activities. And I would like to share a very interesting example. The example of Life Debug project, during which several actions regarding the use of plastic bags took place in Syros Island, including educational activities, door-to-door campaign, and a lot of discussions with stakeholders regarding the use of plastic bag in Syros. So after 3 years, all of these actions led to a significant reduction of plastic bags found in beaches of Syros Island. Actually, a more than 50% reduction, which which indicates how important is to raise environmental awareness. Last but not least, circular economy initiatives are always impressive to me because I'm really excited when I hear that lost or abandoned fishing gears are that are collected by Health Disease Organization can be transformed to socks or carpets, or collected cigarettes can be transformed to fertilizer through a project that is called GOPA Free. And even at local level, it's interesting to say that that collected plastic bottles in a very famous beach in Crete Island are converted to towels, and then they can be reused, of course, by us.
Okay, it's very interesting. You mentioned a lot of different actions involving also very diverse people, and I'm interested in understanding what do you think about the role, let's call them, of both volunteers, activists, or citizen scientists in cleanups campaigns or monitoring campaigns. Did you meet them, and what's your point on this?
Well, yeah, that's true. The role of volunteers and citizen scientists is very critical in plastic monitoring and marine litter collection. I have to say that in case of Greece, several diving centers and associations have significantly contributed to underwater cleanups in order to remove marine litter from seafloor. I would also like to highlight the importance of volunteers, fishermen participation in underwater cleanups. For example, Fishing for Litter project aims to reduce marine litter by involving fishermen, which are a key stakeholder. So it's important. I think it's important to bring the whole community closer to plastic pollution problem, and more and more citizens to contribute to the research. Marine plastic pollution is a multidimensional issue, and a very complex issue as well. And for this reason, I think that we need the whole society with us.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just to finish, since we spoke about youth empowerment up to now, I just ask you one tweet, because we're really late, about somehow I ask you to answer the Slido question live. I mean, what's the added value of empowering young people when it comes to tackling shared and urgent challenges like marine litter, for example?
Well, actually, as I said, marine plastic pollution is a very challenging issue, and the impact of plastic waste goes beyond the national boundaries. For example, plastic waste from Lebanon has been found in Cyprus coastline due to currents and winds. That's why I think that that young and passionate people can really support actions at international level, as well as clean up and plastic monitoring networks in the area of Mediterranean Sea, which are necessary to in order to face all together them. So yes, young people can bring can have very novel ideas. We just listened very interesting ideas from all young ambassadors. So I hope that the young researchers and ambassadors can do a lot of interesting things about plastic pollution.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your intervention.
Thank you, Rita.
Now, Rita, so many interesting input for our next guest, who is Laura Mcdonough, whom I thank to have accepted the invitation and to switch the camera on. Laura is a policy officer in the Healthy Ocean and Seas Unit, Directorate General for the Research Innovation European Commission. She is involved and leads many initiatives such as All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassador Youth Initiative. So Laura, after having listened to this ambassador, maybe the added value, the question that was the added value of working with networks of young people should be clear, but you can surely add something more on this. But so many topics have come from this conversation: the role of scientists, the importance of awareness, or the active role of volunteers. But one of them being the role of policymakers. So what are the best ways to take the visions of these young people on board and let them become really agents of change, as many of them define themselves?
Thank you, Alba, for the introduction and for inviting me and my Laurie Graham here today to the Tea with the Ambassadors this afternoon. It's really great to see for the first time, essentially, all the different youth initiatives come together. So from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic, as you mentioned, Black Sea, the European Marine Board, and MSPglobal Youth Initiative. And I have to say, like, I'm so impressed, and we're also impressed by the work of the youth ambassadors around the different sea basins. And I'd really like to firstly congratulate them all on their different work, their activities, and as you can see, their different networks that are building as well. So it's so important that we invite the youth to the table when we're making decisions about the futures that we're essentially building and making for them. So this means making sure that the youth are part of the decision and policy making processes right from the beginning, because if we leave the youth behind, then we're actually leaving the future behind. So we really do believe in the power to engage, the power of the youth ambassadors to engage with their local communities and to start or to join the conversations at a global scale. And the youth ambassadors, as we've seen today, they're in a fantastic and such a unique position to be able to reach out to their communities in their own languages and to spread the messages to protect and restore our ocean, our one ocean. So whether the youth ambassadors, you're raising awareness about the importance of blue skills in education or capacity building, or engaging with local fishing communities about the impact of climate change, your activities are contributing and making such a difference to the ongoing work in the different sea basins. And from listening to the different perspectives and the presentations and interviews, it's become really evident that they are reaching out to the people and to the communities, and this is real impact. And it's through these different youth initiatives, it's the perfect way to reignite the relationship between the people and the ocean and to reach the local communities. And this was really highlighted as well in the interview between Inès and Vera, where Vera explained about the project that they're working on with the school children and the teachers, so that the children learn to understand the importance of the sea from such a young age. And that is so important. And also, we could see from the interview between Badr and Eimear as well about how, even though the challenges that were presented because of the pandemic this year, the All Atlantic Ocean Youth Ambassadors still managed to attend over 130 events, and they reached out to over 20,000 people. So that really shows us that we can engage with people online and in challenging circumstances. And also, it was super interesting to hear the last interview there between Rita and Katerina, who brought the perspective of the young researchers and how the role of volunteers and citizen scientists especially are so important in monitoring plastic and marine litter collection. So they're just a few examples that I picked up on today, but it was really encouraging to see the different strategies that the ambassadors are using to tell their stories, and especially during the year that we've had. And we saw through their different activities as well that the use of social media and creative arts is a brilliant way to connect people and to share knowledge and to share the excitement around the work that they're doing, such as the outreach videos developed by Inès and Fella, which I really look forward to seeing shortly now in the next few minutes. I'd actually just like to highlight an upcoming opportunity for the youth ambassadors and for the different youth initiatives, even those who are watching today, and that is the virtual early career ocean professional days, so 24 hours following the sun around the world. So it starts on the 1st of June this year. So it's also known as the VCOP days, and it's an event co-organized by the German Research Consortium and the ECOP program, and is officially endorsed as a UN action. And it aims to engage the different early career ocean professionals from all around the world from a variety of disciplines to showcase the different ocean related work, activities and contributions that are going on that can contribute to the UN decade. So it's easy to participate, and I would really encourage those of you watching and listening today to participate in it, as you are the ones who will take the decade forward and become the ocean leaders in the coming years. So there are a couple of calls open at the moment that I'd like to bring your attention to. So the first one is a call to become a live stream moderator. So for this, they're looking for early career ocean professionals who would enjoy shaping, chairing and moderating a 4-hour time slot during the VCOP days. And you can apply to become a live stream moderator before the 3rd of March. And the second call that's open is for those who wish to become a programme contributor. So you can propose an entertaining, informative, creative format in line with the decade. And again, this call is open actually until the 31st of March. So I would really encourage, to have a look anyways at this and to apply if you're interested. And you can follow the different activities of the VCOP days on social media. And after this, I'll pop the social media details into the chat box so that you can look them up. So just to bring my words to a close, I just wanted to say that to the youth ambassadors who presented today, especially, and those who are watching, your networks will continue to grow and they will open up new opportunities for you. And I hope that you take full advantage of these opportunities that are presented to you, because the stronger ocean community, the more we can protect our blue planet. So it's so important for you, the youth ambassadors, to continue to engage and to support one another, and to make sure that you continue to say yes to all the different opportunities that are presented to you professionally, especially during this pandemic. And I suppose with more and more people connected online right now, it's a wonderful time to work across all areas and all regions from your own home. And to really connect with the different youth ambassadors all around the different sea basins. And to those who are also watching online this opportunity, if you are watching this afternoon, if you are in a position to offer any opportunities for the youth to be mentored or trained, such as the All Atlantic Youth Ambassador Programme, as Eimear mentioned earlier, those opportunities really do go so far for the youth. So please do continue to engage with the youth ambassadors to make sure that their voices are taken on board and are heard. So to conclude, I just wanted to say that the enthusiasm, the content, the passion and the work that we had a glimpse of today, it's incredible. And when we look at the different individual and collective projects that you're all working on, that you all presented today, it's clear that we will really profit from the ideas and the knowledge shared. And if we can merge that in a path towards a shared, sustainable and responsible management of our One Ocean approach, that would be really amazing. And you have our full support in this, and we really, truly cannot wait to see what unfolds after today, and to see you all together again, and hopefully it'll be in person next time. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Thank you very much. Yes, Alba, we are back.
Encouragement, many opportunities. So we did so many things. So what can we do now with the time that is over?
Yeah, we need to run. Okay. So what we can do is to ask all the ambassadors to open their cameras. So at least at the end we see all the faces and all the people. And what you see here is the result of the poll that we launched at the beginning, and it looks like many people voted that the most important added value of involving young ambassadors is that they build the next generation of scientists, citizens, and decision makers. And we cannot, we completely, I think we completely agree. Alba, what do you think?
Yes, I do agree.
The other.
I do agree. I mean, yes, also the BlueMed initiative is based on science and on innovation. Shall we leave it open, this poll? Can people, it's closed now, is it?
This is closed, but we are now opening another poll.
Okay, perfect. So can we show these on the BlueMed website, maybe? So for the people, for the audience that has left the conference, maybe? Okay. So,
for sure.
So please, you can present the other question now.
Yeah, the other question will stay open until for the 3 days of the conference, so until the end of the conference, and it is about the most important strategic actions in your opinion. So since the BlueMed implementation plan presented strategic actions to address the most relevant priorities for the Mediterranean, we would like, you have a complete list, it's a long list, so take your time, and we would like the audience to tell us what they think are the most important actions. So again, the way to vote is the same, so you go to slido.com and then you enter BlueMed. All this information is also on the website, on the web page of the conference, so if you don't remember, you can go there and find them. Finally, what we need to do, we don't have time for the questions, so Alba, if you want to just thank everybody, I would say.
Yes, we thank everybody, absolutely, but we see we can meet in the tea room if we have time.
Yeah, it
should be an informal space that where we can meet and follow, at least for some other couple of minutes, the conversation informally, totally informally.
Yeah, we have Fedra Francocci now, who will introduce a little bit what will be also object of the session of tomorrow, together with the joint strategic action, so the pilot for a healthy plastic-free Mediterranean Sea, and especially the hackathon. So yeah, we close thanking everybody again, the technical team,
especially the staff that really. That I could not mention all the people who were engaged in making this conference possible. So this session particularly. So
and all our speakers. Thank you very much to everybody. So we see you in a while, immediately after Fedra's speech in the virtual room.
Okay.